Are you able to see my PPT? Chanakya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So last class we have discussed about the cochlear implants.
Yes, sir.
Today we'll discuss about the hearing aids. Okay. Chanakya,
Yes, sir.
can you tell me what are the parts of cochlear implant?
Microphone.
Chanakya, chappu.
Sir, microphone,
Hmm.
speech processor.
Okay.
Microphone is speech processor. Then transmitter,
Hmm.
again receiver and electrode array, sir.
Hmm. Okay. Sorry. What are the indications for doing the cochlear implantation?
At least the person should be adult, sir. 18 years.
No, no, no,
18
no.
years.
No. Anyone else in the class? Indications for doing the cochlear implantation.
When the patient has a profound hearing loss,
Anyone in the class?
if function of hair cells is non-repairable, we go for cochlear implants, sir.
Okay. So the main indication is bilateral profound sensory neural hearing loss. Okay. We will do mainly in the children's. Chanakya.
Yes, sir.
So if there is any congenital problem in the cochlea or hair cells, outer hair cells, inner hair cells, then we will do the cochlear implantation. Most of the cases we will do the cochlear implantation in children's pediatric age group. If there is any congenital sensory neural hearing loss, we will identify early and we will intervene early so that they can get the normal hearing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So not in the adults. So today we'll discuss about the hearing aids. So coming to the introduction, hearing aid is an electronic device, so which is operated by the battery. So the function of the this hearing aid is which amplifies the sound, and it transmits this amplified sound energy to the inner ear. Okay, so it may be through the air conduction or bone conduction. So depending upon the mechanism of the transmission, these hearing aids are divided into two types. So one is air conduction, second one is the bone conduction. Air conduction and bone conduction. So the main function of these hearing aids is it will amplify the sound energy. Okay. So there are other devices which will be useful for those who are having the deafness or hearing loss. So these devices will use for to amplify the sound energy. So among those, hearing aids is the one. Other things are the assistive devices and implantable hearing aids and cochlear implants. So assistive devices, those will helpful for the sound localization or alerting devices. Those who are having the complete profound deafness and unfit for doing the cochlear implantation, then they will use these assistive devices so that they can localize the sound production or sound energy. Coming to the parts of the hearing aids. So the main parts like cochlear implants, these hearing aids will have the three main parts. So one is the microphone, second one is the amplifier, and third is the receiver. So microphone which receives the sound energy from the external environment and it converts this sound energy into the electrical impulses. So amplifier, it amplifies the electrical impulses, then it transmits the amplified electrical energy to the receiver. So once they reach this electrical energy to the receiver, it converts the electrical energy into the sound energy. So these are the three parts of the hearing aids: microphone, amplifier, and receiver. Microphone, amplifier, and receiver. So in this picture, this is one type of the hearing aid. So we'll discuss there are so many types of the hearing aids depending upon the where we'll keep in the body. So this is the microphone. This is the within the hearing aid there are microphone. Microphone will have the speaker and amplifier, and this is the battery operated. All these devices are the battery operated electrical devices: microphone, amplifier, receiver, and ear mold. So this is the ear mold which fix into the external artery canal of the patients. So usually these ear molds will have those who are using the sound this air conduction type of the hearing aids. Air conduction and bone conduction. In air conduction hearing aids will have these kind of the ear molds. So you have to remember parts of the hearing aid: microphone, amplifier, receiver. Microphone will receive this electrical sound energy from the environment and converts the sound energy into the electrical impulse. Amplifier will amplify the electrical energy, and receiver converts the electrical energy again back into the sound energy. So last class, sir has told about the implantable hearing aids. So bone conduction hearing aids, BAHA, that is bone anchored hearing aids, and completely middle ear implantable hearing aids. So those are the two types: piezoelectric and electromagnetic. Coming to the types of the hearing aids. So depending upon the size of this hearing aid and where exactly the patient will keep into the body, these are divided into body one, behind the ear, spectacle type, in the ear, and in the canal. So in the canal again two types: in the canal hearing aid and completely in the canal, CIC and ITC. So you have to remember all these types. So first, body one. This is most common type. So this will be useful for those who are having the moderate to severe hearing loss or profound hearing loss. Those kind of people will advise these kind of the hearing aid, that is body one. So in this, microphone, amplifier along with the battery are in one case, which is one at chest level, while receiver is at the ear level. So it will be connected through these cables. These are the cables. This is the box. So this will be kept at the level of the chest level of the patient, and receiver will be in the ear canal or concha. So this is the body one. Second type is the behind the ear. So where microphone, amplifier, receiver, battery are lie in the small unit which is one behind the ear. So in this case, all the things will be there. So that is microphone, amplifier, receiver, and also batteries. So it is connected to the external artery canal or concha through the one tube, plastic tube, that is hook, by a hook-shaped rigid tube that fits into over the auricle. So these kind of the hearing aids are useful for the mild to moderate type of the hearing loss. And spectacle type, in this modification of the behind the ear type of the hearing aids, where the unit is housed in the auricular part of the spectacle frame. So it is not popularized nowadays. It is not using regularly. In the ear type, mild to moderate hearing loss, those people having the mild to moderate will use this in the ear type of the hearing aid completely inside the ear. So here you can see within the concha, it is completely snugly fit into the concha. So and it is not recommended for the children because handling of this small instrument is very difficult for the engaged children. In the canal, so again mild to moderate hearing loss, almost completely hidden. So compared to the in the ear, in the canal type is a little bit smaller in size, and only small part of this hearing aid will be visible, outer part of the external aortic canal. So difficult to adjust and change the battery. It is very small, so that's why these kind of this is more acceptable cosmetically, but to handling this instrument is very difficult because all these batteries, everything will be there fixed into this small unit. So changing of the battery is also very difficult. So engaged people or middle-aged people will advise these kind of the hearing aids. Completely in the canal also, compared to the in the canal, it is very smaller. We cannot see, nothing will see outside the ear. So it is completely within the external aortic canal, outer part of the external aortic canal. So the disadvantage is more expensive, and patients should have the wide external aortic canal. So before advising this type of the hearing aid, so we need to check the external aortic canal of the patients. So if it is wide, and it should accommodate these hearing aids. So and it is more expensive. So to make these kind of the hearing aids, first we need to take the impression of the external aortic canal. Then we'll customize the hearing aids will be given to the individual patients. So we need to take the impression of the external aortic canal. Then will give these kind of the completely in the canal. So those are the types of the hearing aids. Depending upon the just now I told, depending upon the mechanism of the hearing aid which works, that is again these are the divided into two types: air conduction and bone conduction. Air conduction, this amplified sound is transmitted to the external aortic canal in which the receiver is situated. So bone conduction hearing aid, the amplified sound is transmitted to the mastoid bone through a bone vibrator, which is snugly fits on the mastoid bone. So in this bone conduction hearing aid, so there is no ear mold. The vibrator will be there, which is fixed over the mastoid antrum, mastoid area. So that is behind the ear. So vibrator acts as a receiver and directly stimulates the cochlea. So that is bone conduction type of the hearing aids. Air conduction and bone conduction, mostly will use the air conduction type only. So if they are having any contraindication to use the air conduction, like chronic external ear diseases or any chronic ear discharge problem, so those people will advise the bone conduction hearing aids. Most of the time we will use the air conduction hearing aids. So in the particular situations only will prescribe. These are the indications for using the bone conduction hearing aids. Patients who suffer from the active ear discharge. Suppose patient is having the CSYM and not fit for undergoing the surgical treatment, and they are having the continuous ear discharge instead of giving the adequate medical treatment. If they are having the, even though if there is any discharge, then will prescribe this bone conduction hearing aids. If they are having any problem in the external aortic canal, so they cannot use the air conduction type of the hearing aids because of the infection in the external aortic canal and discharge, otitis externa and atresia of the ear canal. So it may be congenital or acquired. If there is any atresia or stenosis of the acquired stenosis of the external aortic canal also, so we cannot fix the air conduction type of the hearing aids. So those special cases we need to prescribe the bone conduction hearing aids. So there are some disadvantages with the conventional hearing aids. So the main disadvantage is most of the people, it is not acceptable cosmetically. So cosmetically unacceptable due to visibility. So those people you can advise this completely in the canal type of the conventional hearing aids. There will be acoustic feedback and spectral distortion of the sound and occlusion of the external aortic canal. Because of the ear mold, if they keep into the external aortic canal, there will be a problem. So because continuously they have to wear these hearing aids, there is a skin damage to the external aortic canal skin or conchal skin, and repeated otitis externa, and collection of the wax in the external aortic canal, and blockage of the insert. So if there is accumulation of the wax in the external aortic canal, it will block the ear molds. Then they will have the hearing aid will not work if there is blockage of the ear mold by the wax. Sensitivity of the canal skin to the ear molds, and problem to use in the discharging ears, continuously discharging ear. So those people, we can go for the implantable hearing aids. So in implantable hearing aids, so most commonly used is the bone anchored hearing aid. So it transmits the sound to the inner ear by means of skin penetrating titanium fixture inserted into the skull bone. So behind the ear there is a titanium fixture. It will be drilled into the mastoid part of the bony cortex. So this bone anchored hearing aid will work through the bone conduction. So there are three mechanisms of the bone conduction: vibrating bone, radiating into the external aortic canal and middle ear. The inertial response of the middle ear ossicles and inner ear fluids, direct compression of inner ear fluids that deflects the basilar membrane. So by these three mechanisms, the bone anchored hearing aids will work. So once fixture is implanted into the skull bone, then there is a process that is called the osseointegration. So it takes place between the titanium fixture and the osteocytes, creating a stable fixation between the bone and the titanium fixture. So for this osseointegration, it will take around 2 to 6 months, 2 to 3 months, or in between the 3 to 6 months. So this bone anchored hearing aid will have the three parts. One is the titanium fixture and abutment, and third one is the audio processor, sound processor. So this is the titanium fixture, this is the abutment, and this is the sound processor. Indications for doing this bone anchored hearing aids, BAHA. So it is an important question for you in the theory exam. Directly they may give as a BAHA, bone anchored hearing aid. Indications: sensory neural hearing loss. Those patients who are unable to wear the conventional hearing aids due to recurrent otitis externa or skin reactions associated with the hearing aid molds. So in those people, average bone conduction threshold should not be more than the 60 decibels. Bone conduction should be better, so that should not cross the above 60 decibels. Then only these BAHA are useful. Congenital atresia or acquired stenosis of the external aortic canals. In that case, you cannot use the conventional this aid conduction hearing aids. So because of the stenosis or atresia of the external aortic canal. Chronic otitis media with persistent otorrhea are in large mastoid cavities that are unsuitable for conventional hearing aids. Suppose after doing the canal wall down mastoidectomy, there will be a big cavity. So those cases also you cannot give the conventional hearing aids. So in those cases you can go for this BAHA. Conductive hearing loss may be considered in patients with the otosclerosis or other causes of the conductive hearing loss, an alternative to the surgical treatment, particularly if they have the unilateral hearing loss. So unilateral hearing loss with conductive hearing loss. So otosclerosis patients, mainstay of treatment is surgical treatment. If they are not willing for surgery or not fit for the surgical treatment, then you can go for this BAHA. So the main advantage with the BAHA is it gives the better quality sound than the aid conduction conventional hearing aids when inner ear function is normal and there is large conductive hearing loss. Suppose air-bone gap is more and sensory thresholds are normal, within normal limits. So this is better. Unilateral sensory neural hearing loss. Suppose if there is a profound unilateral sensory neural hearing loss in patients with unilateral sensory neural hearing loss also, you can prescribe this. You can go for the BAHA. So those cases, binaural hearing can be restored by fitting a bone-anchored hearing aid behind the diseased ear. Sound is transmitted transcranially and pursued by the healthy contralateral cochlea. So suppose complete sensory neural hearing loss, in that case, you can go for the BAHA. So we'll fix this instrument diseased ear side, but the transcranial transmission of these bone vibrations will stimulate the opposite normal cochlea, so that they can localize the sound source. So that is one useful by the BAHA. So these are the parts just now I told: titanium fixture, titanium abutment, and the sound processor. This is the fixture, it will be fixed into the bone, and this is the abutment which connects the sound processor to the fixture. So usually we will do in single stage procedure this surgical treatment in adults, but in children there is second stage procedure may be required. First we will fix this titanium fixture. After 6 months, then we'll attach the abutment and the sound processor. So titanium fixture is surgically embedded into the skull with abutment exposed outside of the skin. So titanium fixture bonds with the surrounding bone by osseointegration, which takes approximately 3 to 6 months. So then sound processor is attached to this titanium abutment. So there is no major complications with this BAHA. So only thing is failure of osseointegration resulting in the loss of fixture and skin reactions around this titanium abutment and thickening around the abutment, which may require revision surgery. So other implantable hearing aid is the bone bridge hearing implant. So it is a semi-implantable bone conduction hearing aid system, consists of an external audio processor that magnetically attaches to the implant under the intact skin. So advantage with this this bone conduction hearing aid, so it avoids the skin problem which are having with the BAHA and enables earlier fitting of audio processor as osseointegration is not required in this. Disadvantage, it requires more complex surgical procedure. Mastoid cavities should be disease free. Here we need to do the simple mastoidectomy, then we will place this audio processor into the mastoid cavity. So the other type is the completely implantable middle ear implants. Active middle ear implants are, so we'll place these implants into the middle ear. Active middle ear implants are designed to mechanically stimulate the vibratory structures of the middle ear. That are the ossicular chain. So they will directly stimulate the ossicular chain. They do not occlude the external artery canal. They can be either partially or totally implantable and are powered by either piezoelectric or electromagnetic. There are two types of these middle ear implants, piezoelectric and electromagnetic. So the implant is fixed securely to one of the middle ear ossicles without disruption of the ossicular chain or impairment of the existing middle ear function. So while doing this surgical treatment, while attaching this instrument to the ossicular chain, you should not disturb the ossicular chain. So if you damage any ossicular chain, again they'll have the more hearing loss. So patients with mild to severe sensory neural hearing loss, indications for doing these middle ear implants: recurrent otitis externa, meatal atresia, acquired stenosis of the external artery canal, improvement of sound quality, especially at high frequency, and reduction in the biofeedback. Cosmetic benefit, as the audio processor is small and easily concealed. For swimmers and athletes, a totally implantable device is more useful. So these will have the floating mass transducer FMT, that is called the FMT, floating mass transducer, which is attached to the long process of the incus by a clip. It can also be attached to the stoppies plate by specially designed couplers. So the external auditory processor is attached to the receiver magnetically and transmits processed sound to the internal receiver. So receiver then transmits the electrical signal to the FMT, which vibrates the oscillar chain. So you can see in this picture, this is the FMT, floating mass transducer. So within the audio processor will be outside, just below the skin in the postauricular region. FMT and receiver will be in the middle ear. So this sound energy will be transmitted electromagnetically into the receiver, which is present in the middle ear cavity, and then from the receiver to the FMT. So once it reaches the FMT will move the oscillar chain. The other type is the Carina. It is a totally implantable electromagnetic device with microphone situated under the skin. So the transducer is inserted into a laser drilled hole into the body of the incus. So their transmitter will be placed into the body of the incus. The other type is the piezoelectric device, that is STEAM. It is a totally implantable piezoelectric device placed under the skin behind the ear. It uses the tympanic membrane as a microphone and picks up the sound signal via sensor attached to the body of the incus. So the sound is processed and transmitted to the piezoceramic crystal, which is within the transducer. So sound is processed and transmitted to the piezoceramic crystal within the transducer that is attached to the head of the stapes. So in this variety, piezoceramic crystal will be there, that is present within the transducer that is attached to the head of the stapes. So when stimulated by the electrical current, piezoceramic crystal vibrates the head of the stapes. So complications are uncommon. Revision surgery to reposition of the device may be required in few cases. So these are the implantable, completely middle ear implantable devices. So this is about the hearing aids. Any doubts regarding cochlear implants and the hearing aids, implantable hearing aids? Students? Roll number 72.
Sir?
72.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you tell me what are the parts of the hearing aid?
Hello? Sir, parts of hearing aids are microphone, amplifier, receiver, and ear mounts and battery.
Battery. Oh, correct. So, what is the function of the microphone?
Microphone takes the sound and picks up the sound and converts it into electrical impulses.
Okay. Receiver?
Receiver converts that electrical impulses into sound again.
Sound energy. So amplifier will amplify the electrical energy, and receiver. So microphone and receiver, amplifier. For types of the hearing aids, conventional hearing aids types.
Types of conventional hearing aids are air conduction hearing aids and bone conduction hearing aids are there.
Yeah. What are the
among ear conduction are this behind the ear, spectacle types, in the ear, in the canal, completely inside the canal types.
Okay. Which is cosmetically acceptable? Air conduction hearing aid.
In the canal,
In the canal or completely in the canal?
completely in the canal.
ITC or CIC.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What are the indications for using the bone conduction hearing aids?
In otitis externa or any infection to the external ear, otitis externa or any drainage, actively draining ears,
Hmm.
and atresia of ear canal.